Hello, Squirrel Tribe. So I want to share something with you that I received today. So here we go. This came in today. Sometime after 14 days, an unknown event may occur in specific, mostly unspecified locations within the U.S., and we all need supplies for an unknown duration and an alternative form of communications. To this, I will add that my significant other worked for the phone company in California. They just had a test of their alternative communication systems a few weeks ago. He has been with the company for 30 years, and that was the first time they tested that system. And then just 16 hours ago, Oklahoma National Guard builds new trench warfare training center. So the Oklahoma National Guard broke ground on a new state-of-the-art one-way attack trench warfare lane at Camp Gruber Training Center in Oklahoma on June 2nd. The new range is part of the OKNG's efforts to provide citizen soldiers with modern, challenging, and realistic training areas, which will expose guardsmen to a variety of threats they may face in conflicts around the globe. This is according to Major General Thomas H. Mancino, Adjutant General for Oklahoma. If you watch the war in Ukraine carefully, you see it's transitioning to something that looks like World War I, where you have to be dug in to survive, Mancino said. In Oklahoma, we had a vision of creating a training facility that will allow our soldiers to learn to fight in those environments, learn to fight, clear, and win in the trenches. Now, Little Birdie also told me that UN troops are to be deployed in the U.S. UN peacekeeping forces ordered under a plan called Operation Peacekeeper would deploy across the country. This is according to a viral post. And one last thing for y'all. Breaking news alert, soldiers deployed, NATO moves Americans to the front lines. And I quote, government leaders are fast tracking a response to deploy your children and your brothers and sisters in arms to fight Russia. Now, why are American troops being sent first? And I quote, they're going to build land corridors and get these American troops to the front lines to fight Russia and anyone who comes against NATO as quickly as possible. We have to start asking the right questions. Some of these questions include, why is your tax money being used to build NATO and deliver weapons of war? Why are your children and your brothers and sisters the ones going to the front lines first? OPEC just agreed to extend production curbs well into next year, all right? This deal signals that oil prices will remain elevated into the future. And I want to remind you that the elephant's foot in Chernobyl is the most dangerous object on Earth and will remain so for the next 100,000 years. And from apparently a reliable and trusted insider and source, quote, now, what I'm about to tell you reveals some behind-the-scenes insights into how ChatGPT and these artificial intelligence units start to release propaganda into the public. 300 seconds of exposure will have you dead in just a couple of days. While doing some research and going down the rabbit hole, I asked ChatGPT about it. Let me tell you, there is some real go green propaganda shared. That end quote. Now, when it said here, when the Oklahoma National Guard, no, not that one, hold on. No, the first comment, the one that I read to you first, where she was saying that, I believe it was she, was saying that significant other works for the phone company in California, just tested their alternative communication systems a few weeks ago. I started thinking about AT&T had more issues again a couple of days ago. Do you guys remember this? It was hard for anybody with AT&T with your cellular service, or I don't think it was landlines. I'm pretty sure it's just cellular service, to connect with anybody outside of AT&T. Now, this is like the fourth time that AT&T has had an issue in the last 2 months. I am on AT&T. My family is on AT&T. Here in Florida, we have AT&T, and my mother and my mother-in-law are on our family plan in Georgia on AT&T. So thankfully, we still had the ability to communicate this time. A couple weeks ago, when there was that whole issue with AT&T, we could not get in touch with anybody. And that's scary. We've become so reliant upon being able to just pick up a phone and call somebody or text somebody or jump on, an app on your phone and make sure people are still alive. We've become instant gratification nation, right? That's what it is. But instant knowledge that somebody is safe is something we take for granted every single day. If something were to go down and if we were to lose our ability to communicate like that, we would all panic. I know I would if I couldn't get in touch with my daughter, if I couldn't get in touch with my mother, with my husband, I would panic. Yes, I know how to write a letter and put it in the post office and put a stamp on it and send it out and whatever else. And I know how to write an email, but if everything's down, email is not an option. And the post office may be, but Who has that kind of patience anymore? Because we've been conditioned to not need patience. I mean, look at TikTok and shorts on YouTube, 30-second attention span, and then flit, you're off to the next thing, right? But when they said here that they just had a test of their alternative communication system a few weeks ago. He has been with the company for 30 years, and that was the first time they tested that system, says a lot to me. Why now? Why test now unless they themselves are either planning something or worried about something? And that says a lot to me and to y'all, hopefully, that maybe we need to start relying upon something besides our cell phones that are attached to these big corporations, to AT&T and T-Mobile and Verizon. Is Sprint even still a thing? I don't even know if Sprint's still a thing. I know everybody's buying up everybody. And the next thing you know, there's only going to be one person or one company that's going to carry cellular service. And that's going to be interesting. Now, with Oklahoma National Guard building new trench warfare, that's honestly, the way I read it, honestly, to me, is a good thing. As a citizen, I want to know how to protect myself without needing the help of an army or soldiers or National Guard or whatever else. I want to be able to take care of myself and my family in any way humanly possible. And if Oklahoma is opening something up that teaches you how to protect yourself in a warlike situation, I think that's great. Now, let's look at the opposite side of it, though. If they're willing to do that, it's because they know that then they've trained you how to fight for them, for us. You know what I'm saying? And so then now, are you more likely to be called to the front line of something because you've gone through this training to learn how to protect yourself? Are you more valuable at that point as opposed to people who are not learning how to protect themselves and their country and therefore less valuable and won't be called to the front lines? Just kind of a thought there. Now, the last one here, why are American troops being sent first? Will always be my question. Why is American money being sent, to help everybody but actual Americans? I have a lot of issues with those kind of things, as I'm sure you all do as well. There are a lot of things going on in our country alone that I am not a huge fan of. Yes, I love our country. The United States of America is absolutely amazing, but there are aspects of it right now, and it could be because of, the administration on hand, and it could be because of things that have happened over years and years and years leading up to now. But there's a lot of things I don't agree with and I do not like that are going on. And every country out there, I'm sure, is feeling the same way. We talked about Nigeria and the union workers who shut down the entire power grid because they are not getting paid enough to literally survive. And so they took matters into their own hands. You had in France months ago, I don't even think it was a year ago, but months ago, they were rioting in the streets for whatever purpose. I know they went to BlackRock, set BlackRock on fire, a whole lot of things there. More and more countries are having inner country issues, and everything is starting to kind of meld together. We are now fighting other countries' issues, and other countries' issues are inside our borders. Think about all the riots, and not the riots, what's the word? The protests and things that are going on at the colleges and stuff like that. It feels like everything is like bubbling and soon it's going to boil over, right? Isn't that how it feels to a lot of people? Like it's like this weird simmer. It's been this weird simmer for a while, and now it's getting hotter and there's like a little more bubble to it, and then soon you're not going to be able to contain it. I am not looking forward to the non-containment, just so we're all fully aware, because I do believe that is when literal shit will hit the fan, and I am not looking forward to it. So I do think that we need to pay attention to everything that's going on. I think you need to do everything humanly possible to make sure that you and your family are safe and you have ways to communicate with each other and stuff like that. But you have to pay attention to what's going on, not just what they're telling you, but what you can physically see yourselves and what's going on in your areas, because that's where it's going to hit first, where you live. So pay attention to what's going on around you and yours, right? So that's that. I would love your thoughts on any of this, Squirrel Tribe, because you guys know how much I appreciate and depend on your thoughts in order for us to have this communication, this community here. So thank you for always being here and willing to have these discussions and whatnots. Listen, I love y'all. I hope you have a fabulous rest of your Thursday, because it's Thursday, and I will see you guys again tomorrow. Okay, bye.